Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the Bitcoin RSI is about to test this important line of support while the price is rejecting from resistance in the shorter term, which I'll talk about in just a moment, so definitely stick around. First of all, just giving you a quick update here on the daily Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is still trading above this important area of support, sitting in between around 24.3k to 25.3k. And so once again, on the daily time frame, that is still the critical area of support to pay attention to. And as for the daily Bitcoin price oscillators, first of all, the daily Bitcoin MACD is still showing very low momentum, although it is moving towards a potential bearish cross. And so basically, if we stay on the same trajectory that we've seen over the last few days, then we're likely going to see a bearish cross here in the MACD, perhaps in a couple of days from now. And that would basically mean we're beginning to see some more bearish momentum show up on the daily time frame. But once again, at least for now, this is still showing very low momentum, which means at the moment, we do not really have a strong direction on the chart. And as for the daily Bitcoin RSI, once again, as I mentioned in my last video on the channel, this is now retesting this previous descending line of resistance. So of course, this is an important test for the daily RSI, because as always, if we're breaking out above resistance, that is technically bullish price structure in the RSI, which subsequently is the case for the price action, because with the relative strength index, if this is showing strength, of course, that usually means the price is showing strength, like what we saw over the last 1 to 2 weeks or so. And on the flip side, if you're looking at what we saw back at the beginning of July, almost the end of June, obviously back then the RSI started to show weakness on the daily time frame, trending back to the downside before the price of Bitcoin even began this bearish trend. And so once again, we usually see weakness in the RSI before the price begins showing weakness, and strength in the RSI before the price begins showing strength. And so once again, if we see a breakdown here in the RSI, that would be bearish for the RSI and subsequently for the price action showing weakness. And so essentially, if we see a confirmed break to the downside in the RSI, I would expect a drop at least down into this area of support, sitting in between 24.3k to 25.3k once again. But on the flip side, if this RSI holds above this level of support and we actually see a bounce and form a new higher low and higher high again in the RSI, then obviously that would be a signal pointing towards more of a reversal playing out in the bullish direction in the price action. But at least for now, we're still in that test phase, waiting to see the outcome. And something similar can be said about this daily Bitcoin chart, because of course, looking at the RSI, we are also about to test this ascending line of support, which is also the invalidation line for this bullish divergence pattern here on the daily time frame. Basically, if we see a breakdown in the RSI and ideally a break into new lower lows below this previous low, then essentially that would help to invalidate the bullish divergence here on the daily Bitcoin chart. So at least for now, while the RSI is still holding above this ascending line of support, technically speaking, this bullish divergence is still active, but obviously we are getting very close to potentially invalidating this bullish divergence if we simply see a breakdown here in the RSI. And what that would mean is simply a resumption of the bearish trend here on the daily time frame, because of course, if you're looking at the price alone, technically we have not yet broken the lower high, lower low price structure here on the daily time frame. And so essentially this could continue if we invalidate this bullish divergence, which so far this bullish divergence has resulted in a bit of a relief from that bearish trend. And if you're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, of course we have seen more of a correction over the last few days due to this small bearish divergence just on the 4-hour Bitcoin chart. And once again, technically speaking, this is still active because the RSI and the price on the 4-hour time frame is still forming lower highs and lower lows, at least for now. And so once again, the situation right now is the bullish divergence on the daily chart has caused a bit of a relief over the last 1 to 2 weeks or so, which on smaller time frames looks more like a bullish trend. But due to this small bearish divergence, obviously we have taken a pause, a setback from that small bullish relief in the form of this correction, once again due to the bearish divergence. And as for support and resistance, looking at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart at the Fibonacci retracement tool, right now, as I'm recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is actually finding resistance right here, which was previous support, sitting at approximately 26.4 to 26.5k. But in a more bullish scenario, if we actually saw a breakout back above that level, then in that case, we could also find resistance at around 26.8 to 26.9k. And as for short-term support, right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is finding a bit of support at approximately 26.2k. But if we see a break to the downside, then in that case, we still have the golden pocket area of support in between around 25.8k to 25.9k. And below that area, we also have the 78.6% Fibonacci level of support at around 25.4 to 25.5k. And as for the short-term trend, as in talking about a matter of hours or days, obviously at the moment, we're still looking more bearish than bullish due to this small bearish divergence playing out at the moment. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, we're still playing out that bit of a rejection from this important area of resistance sitting in between around 1620 to 1660. And obviously, in terms of the trend at the moment on the daily time frame, technically this is still more bearish than bullish in terms of the trend, because at the moment we have not yet broken the lower high, lower low price structure. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, right now the daily Ethereum MACD is still showing very low momentum, as I've said over the last few days, which once again means at the moment, at least in the short term, we do not really have a strong direction on the chart. And as for the daily Ethereum RSI, technically speaking, a bullish divergence is still active, at least for now. But if we simply see lower lows in the price or the RSI, then once again, those signals can help to invalidate the bullish divergence, pointing towards a resumption of the bearish trend here on the daily time frame. Because once again, as I've been saying since all the way back here, when the bullish divergence actually confirmed close to 2 weeks ago now, technically this is just resulting in a bit of a pause from the bearish trend. And so that basically means if we invalidate the bullish divergence by seeing a breakdown in the RSI or the price action below these previous lows, then once again, that will simply be a signal pointing towards this bearish trend resuming on the daily time frame. And as for short-term support and resistance, looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool on the 4-hour time frame, right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is bouncing around between the golden pocket and the 50% retracement level. First of all, the 50% retracement level is currently acting as resistance, as what we saw just a few days ago back here, which is sitting at around 1.6k. But in a more bullish scenario, if we actually confirm the breakouts back above 1.6k, then in that case, we should also find some resistance at around 1615 and around 1635. And as for support, right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is finding a bit of support around the golden pocket, sitting in between around 1578 to 1583. Because of course, over the last one day, we did actually see a breakout back above that golden pocket, which is now acting as support in the short term. But if we end up breaking back below that level, like what we saw around 1 day ago, then we should expect some support at around 1560 approximately, which is where the 78.6% Fibonacci level of support is sitting at. But in a more bearish scenario, if we actually break below that level of support, then in that case, we should also find some support at these previous lows sitting close to 1530. But either way, whether the price is bullish, bearish, or simply chopping around sideways like right now, you can still make money in crypto by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is bullish or bearish using AI, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action like right now. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.